Welcome to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. All health, no hide. Here's your host, Mary Lisa Lawless.
Have you ever felt a little bit uncomfortable in your home? Maybe just something feels off and there's a weird, murky energy lurking about. Well, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about some simple things that you can do at home to really create a calming, positive, energetic environment in your house. Welcome, everyone, to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. I am your co-host, Jeremy Wolf, as always, joined by the Queen, Mary Lisa Lawless. Mary Lisa, always a pleasure, my dear.
Hello.
Hello.
I love that intro.
Yes. It's so funny because we recently did the Microdose the Mind podcast. You had a chance to meet Brian. I was up in Orlando, and obviously in his shamanic path, like he's big into this stuff, right? Energy clearing and all this type of stuff. And he sent me home with like a care package with some sage, a smudge kit, all this stuff. And I'm really trying to focus on clearing my house out. So like the stars are aligning now. And now that we have you, another expert in this space here, I thought we would talk a little bit about practical applications, things that, simple things that you can do at home to really set up an environment, a calm environment for success in your life. So with that being said, I know one of the things that you focus on is crystals. And we talked about this before. And I think this is probably the easiest access point for people, right? So for someone brand new to crystals, what's a good place to start? What are some crystals that can be brought into the home that are best used for creating a calm and peaceful environment?
First off, the one that most people know of is quartz.
Okay.
It's abundant. You can find it in the Carolinas. You can find it all over the United States. Kids love to go digging rocks, and and a lot of times what they find is quartz. Quartz has been used for thousands of years. Every religious community and historically has used quartz in one way or another. It's considered a crystal that's like an overall clearer. It helps with everything.
So it probably emits like a light frequency, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And they actually found big tablets of quartz on the corners of all of the pyramids in Egypt. And they use it because quartz is also a really good electrical conductor. So quartz is the most common, the most popular, the one that most people know about. From that, different quartz have colors. And they're used for different things in different areas. Probably the one that after quartz is most well known is amethyst. Amethyst is a purple rock.
Oh, yes,
exactly. Like the one that you're wearing.
Courtesy of Crystals del Sol.
And there's some right behind me too. I think that one right there. You can't really tell because the lighting is a little wonky in our new place. This is our temporary location in my garage. But I think I've done a pretty good job of setting it up. We've got it. We've got things rocking and rolling. We've started our classes again. All that. Sidebar.
Well, it looks beautiful. So speaking of the fact that you just transferred, because I know we talked about this on a previous episode with this, you had to move your office of 35 years to your house and obviously set up there. Was there anything that you did in your own home before you introduced the office into the home? Was there a clearing that you did? Like, what did you do to set up there to set yourself up?
Two things. One is I have selenite and tourmaline. So tourmaline can be readily found in California. It's a black, almost like a flaky stone. And selenite is also found all over the U.S. They're found in other countries as well. But there are two crystals. Yes, I have that whole top shelf there. For those of you on video can see, is black tourmaline. And that lamp right there is selenite. So
the black tourmaline is the one that exploded that we talked about. It's the one that sucks up all the negative things, right? So it's a good one to use to kind of trap all the negative energy
Yeah.
or entities or
What
whatever.
it does is that it blocks negative energy, but when it's full, when it has blocked it enough, it like needs to go back to the earth to regenerate. Yes. So my grandkids, when they start digging in my garden, they're going to be like, wow, look at what I found, because
A whole
I've got so
treasure.
many broken crystals thrown into the garden.
So now with these crystals, is this something I've heard of, like charging crystals before? So like,
Yeah.
I know you can get them and you can put them out on a ledge, but is there anything you should be doing with them on a daily basis? Should you be holding them, moving them around, shaking them up, even putting them in the sunlight? Like this is more of, it's not just
So there's
necessarily a
different,
set it and forget it, right? It's an interactive type thing.
sometimes. So the tourmaline is one that you do, you recharge it. And the recharging is you put it out in the full moon. The
Okay.
full moon has an energy attached to it. Right now, we just passed the new moon. So in 2 weeks, if you want to clean your crystals or clear them energetically, put them in your windowsill or put them outside. Selenite is one that absorbs negative energy. Tourmaline blocks negative energy. It's actually something I tell people to do in their car. Put a piece of tourmaline underneath the driver's seat because it blocks the negative energy, and put a piece of selenite under the passenger seat because it absorbs negative energy. So little baggies under each seat. But the selenite clears, all it does is absorb the negative energy. So yes, in my home, before I moved everything here by my front door, even though clients aren't coming through my front door, I have a side entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they're not coming through the front door, I have a big piece of tourmaline by my front door. I have a big piece of quartz by my front door, rose quartz, amethyst, smoky quartz, and selenite, all by my front door.
I love it.
What most people need by their front door is tourmaline and quartz. And what it does is that it helps to clear the energy as people are coming in the front door. The whole concept is that it blocks any of the negativity from coming in.
Yes.
So what I've noticed in my home, other than how neglected it's been because I'm working all the time and I've been in my office.
There's a crystal for that. The neglected crystal.
So the thing that I've noticed is that I'll give you an example. This morning I have a client who came in for therapy, and this particular person is very traditionally trained and doesn't really get energy and all of that. And for the very first time, walked in here, stopped and took a deep breath and said, I really don't understand this and I don't really get this, but I realized that the minute I walked into your door, it feels so calming that I just had to stop and take a deep breath. And that was huge because I've known this person over 10 years. And for that person to walk in and say, I don't get it, but it feels good in here. It was just perfect.
It checks out. It sounds about right. This is like, that's emblematic of my spiritual journey, because as you know, I've always been so incredibly skeptical of all these types of things. And the more I open up to it and the older I get and the more experiences I have with my antenna on fine-tune alert, the more I'm coming to believe that there is more to it than what we currently know in terms of science and this energy stuff. Like, we truly do put out a signal, and like this idea of manifesting, it's not like woo-woo magic where it's just like if you sit on your couch and you just say to yourself all day that everything's going to work out. No, you still have to be active. You still have to like go about your life and do things. But when you do that, you still have to participate. You still have to play the game. But when you do that and you're open to all this stuff and you start believing it, magical things start to happen. I know Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot, how these synchronicities, when you tune in and you start creating, you start interacting with the quantum field and all this stuff that sounds woo-woo. It's like magically these things start happening, these deja vu moments, these synchronicities, these positive things. Like, wow, that's strange that it just happened right now. And the more of it you do, the more you experience. It feels like woo-woo magic, but it's real. I don't think it is. I think it's real. That's what I've come to
quantum energy. This is pulling ourselves into the quantum field. And they've known about it for I've read books that were printed in the 1800s that were talking about this. Helena Blavatsky, she wrote a book in the late 1800s.
What's he? What?
Yeah, I read all 4 volumes of her thing, and each volume was like 800 pages.
Jeez.
It was a lot. And just really fascinating. These are things that have been talked about for millennia. And it's not just this culture where we're waking up to it, but all cultures have something. So when you're thinking about clearing energy, I prefer things that are non-smokable. And let me clarify, things that don't produce smoke, not things that
you don't like the smudging, the burning sage and whatnot? Why don't you like that? Because Brian's a big advocate of that.
I do. No, I actually have saged in my house. My son used Palo Santo when he had to clear his dad's house. And because it was so intense, he can't tolerate the smell of it any longer. So every culture has something different. So Palo Santo is a South American energy clear. Sage is North American energy clear. Copal is Mexican energy clearing. Nang Champa is Hindu energy clearing. Every culture has something. Most of them are ones that you light on fire and use to clear a space. And I've done it. I've done all of them in my spaces over the years. What I've chosen to do here is to just have crystals for my home, because I don't my lungs don't tolerate smoke of any kind. Well, that's why I don't smoke. My lungs don't tolerate it well.
Among other reasons, come on.
Yeah, among other reasons.
That's the only reason.
The crystals work for me. They feel good in my hand. So when I'm holding something and I'm trying to help somebody decide what crystal is best for them, I have them hold 2 different crystals in their hands and tell them to close their eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just listen. And 99% of the people that do that get a stronger feel one way or the other.
Yeah.
People will say, this is weird. I'm like, just do it. Just go with it. One of the crystals that's the most interesting is moldavite.
Yeah, we talked
the
about
moldavite is one of those crystals that is considered a super crystal. And it is supposedly what it does. And there's been some scientific studies done with it that it opens all 7 chakras at the same time. That it opens all the energy systems in your body. And we have more than 7 chakras. We have hundreds of chakras. It opens everything at the same time. So you'll see like TikTok videos or, reels, things like that say, don't ever get moldavite. It will destroy your life. It'll create these horrors.
Open the gates of hell. No,
because what it does is open up the gates of all the energy in your body. So before I actually sell it to anyone, I absolutely 100% of the time make them hold it.
You got to take the moldavite test before you get
absolutely. And I've had like grown bodybuilder men like, yeah, right. And they hold it. And they're like, what's happening? And if they have no reaction or just like a positive reaction, it's like it's an okay stone for them to have. I had sold somebody a ring that has moldavite in it. Again, did the same procedure that I do with everybody. The next day, the woman calls me and she says, do you do returns? And I had her explain to me why and what. If something broke, that's one thing. But she's like, I can't wear the ring. I put it on and it just makes me dizzy and nauseous. And I said, well, that's why I have you hold it before you buy it, because that could be a reaction that you have. And so we talked about it, but, and she never came in to do anything about it, but people think it's a joke, but it's not. It actually happens. And I don't tell people what to expect. I just let people tell me what they experience. I don't want to influence what it is that goes on in their own body.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some crystals that are very powerful crystals. There's some that are used for clearing energy. The other thing that I have all around my house besides selenite, and it is shungite. And shungite is a carbon-based rock, and it's used in some water purification systems. It's a more expensive stone, so some people use tourmaline for the energy clearing in that. But what I have on my windowsills, and I have a whole bunch in the other room where I do my therapy, is I have these big raw rocks on the windowsills. So people see these big black rocks on my windowsills, and they probably think I'm a little crazy. My next door neighbor said, "Yeah, I told
Well, we're
everybody I
all a
live
little
next door to
crazy.
a farmer, a woo-woo farmer." No,
That's too
so
funny.
it's at the end of the day, the most important piece about any of this is that it does no harm.
Yes. Hmm.
Does no harm.
Yeah.
And even all of the energy healers that I have here, I vet all of them. I've been trained in most of the modalities. And the energy healers are starting to come to this space as well. And they're walking in the door and they're like, oh, it feels good. It feels good.
Mm.
And it does. It feels really comfortable in here. And the people that have come here said that it feels better than the original place.
Oh, that's great.
So that's a really awesome affirmation for me that I've done. You know, that my sister and I did a really good job of setting this up. And then some of my energy people, one that I did the podcast with a few months in January, I think with Andy.
Yeah.
She came in and she helped me arrange all the crystals because she's super, super connected energetically.
Yeah. I need to come by and check out the new space for sure.
Absolutely.
And the environment is only a small part of the equation, and it
Yeah.
helps feed the large part of the equation, which is what's internal, right? Our mindset, right? The habits, the rituals we create. So even if, like you said, it does no harm, even if it was all woo, which I don't think it is, but even if I'm speaking out there to people that maybe feel that way, even if that was the case, if for you, if it makes you feel better, right, going through these rituals and going through these practices, well, guess what? It is working because it's actually having
Exactly.
an effect internally
Mhm.
on how you project yourself and how you feel, and that's just going to steamroll in your interactions and grow. So the mindset is the key with everything. And I know another big part of what you do through Hemp Del Sol is CBDs,
Mhm.
which I know a lot of people are turning to deal with stress and anxiety, kind of this internal stuff that goes on. How do you see CBDs as complementing the work that you're doing with crystals, and how can people incorporate that into the space at home and into their practices to kind of enhance their environment and their peace of mind while at home?
The CBD, when you are feeling so stressed that you can't function, the crystals take a really long time in general to create that sense of tranquility. And it takes a level of commitment. The CBD helps it activate more quickly. It activates quickly the internal systems because we have an endocannabinoid system in our brain. These are some of our neurotransmitters. So the anxiety is triggered because of inflammation, because of stories that we tell ourselves, things that we're stuck in. Depression comes from that as well.
Mm.
And there's enough studies with the CBD to know that it helps to elevate mood without causing a psychoactive effect. So it increases serotonin. There's some studies that indicate that it increases serotonin, which is what antidepressants do. When you use CBD, I try to figure out what is the most pressing issue. For most people today, it's sleep.
Yeah.
So I have and I think we did an episode on sleep CBD. I have 5 or 6 different products that are just for sleep. So let's get the sleep under control. If you physically, biologically start to feel like things are like calming down, you're moving in the right direction, then you add the crystals. You add different things. The important piece is getting yourself to a place where physiologically you feel okay so you can start to address some of the energetic pieces.
Mm.
So the CBD, it's not a drug, it's a supplement. It's not, in any of the research I've done, it's not contraindicated for any medications. It's actually helped multiple people I know get off of medications. And it's all been processed through their doctor. The doctor doesn't understand why their blood pressure is good, doesn't understand why they can come off of this. People have gotten off of pain medications because they've taken care of the inflammation that's creating the pain.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to be physiologically in a healthy enough place that the crystals are actually beneficial. The CBD helps with so many different things, but overall, anxiety, inflammation. Those are the two biggies. Handling those two particular pieces helps to make other things clearer so that you can think about it. Oh, this is what's going on with me because I've taken care of the inflammation, my pain is down, and I can think better. And you know what? I think I want to work on my spiritual side. So let me get a piece of amethyst that I can put by my bedside. Let me do something with different chakra energy centers because physiologically I'm starting to feel like normal or human. My anxiety is down. I can actually take a breath. It's more of a crisis piece. Absolutely. Meditation. There's so many things that you can do prior to pharmaceuticals, or if you choose to let go of some of your pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Clearing your space, clutter. We know that clutter really increases
the clutter. It's like magic. My perfect example of clutter, right? My garage, we clean it out, and 6 months later, it's just, how it goes, right? You take something out and you're in a rush, so you just throw it here, and then you do it again, you throw it here, and before you know it, you can't reach the shelf anymore. So you're putting stuff on top of a bike, and then you get to the point where you can't even move in the garage. I finally got in there with my daughter this weekend, and we pulled everything out, we organized it, and man, when I walk in there, I just feel better. So talk about things you can do to create a calm environment in your house. Just keep it clean, right? Just clean up. If you have shit laying all over the place, clean it up. Start there.
Yep. Absolutely.
Easy
and
enough, right?
Donate stuff. If you've got stuff that you're not using, other countries that are really there really are third world countries. I send a lot of my stuff to Haiti.
Absolutely.
They have nothing.
Yeah.
So I send quite a bit. I've become a collection site. And when that particular corner gets full, I call my friend and I say, okay, I have another load for you.
Let's go. Yeah. Give it to somebody less fortunate, somebody who needs it. It's so funny talking about cleaning out. I know, Brian's on this shaman path. And one of the first things in his training was like, clean your closet. Like start there, get rid of all the stuff out of your closet. And the closet is like a metaphor for the entire picture for your life. It's like, go there, get rid of anything you don't use anymore, give it away, and then start fresh from there and use that as a way to kind of expand outward. So yeah.
When I pulled everything from the office, when we started pulling things here into my home, I was like, oh my,
where's that?
Oh my, my living room was full. And it was like, and then I've got closets that are full. I had one closet that was full, it was a walk-in closet, but it was full. And so I took apart each place and took care of one space at a time.
Yeah.
And gave away a lot of stuff, found spaces for things. I have good closet space and good storage space here. So that's always been really helpful with this particular, my home. Putting things in the attic that I'm not going to need for a year. Putting things in closet on upper shelves that I'm not going to need. One of my rooms, my dining room, the formal dining room, has become what I call the Jenga Tetris room. And my green screen for my podcast is the curtain blocking that room. And what it has in it is all the furniture that was still perfectly good furniture. There's nothing, and it was stuff that I will use for our center when we finally get our metaphysical center, which is the goal. And so it's that one space is a storage room, but everything is like, it's interesting. And I have 2 fish tanks in there. So I have to go in it every day to feed my fish, clean the tanks and do that. But it's the only space that is still or is filled with stuff.
Well, I am going to come
Everything
by.
else is
I'm going to come by soon for the tour. I can't wait to see the new space. I'm glad you're up
awesome.
and running. Everything looks great so far. I love the backdrop there. Looks like you got some good stuff going on there. So for sure.
Yeah, no, and this little thing right here. You can't really see the top of it. Let me see.
Where are we looking at? The butterfly?
Right there. My butterfly.
Beautiful.
I made that when I was 14 years old.
Look at that.
I am 63 years old.
63 years young.
And that has
Don't ever
traveled
forget
with me everywhere. That was long before I knew what the transformation project was going to be. It was also long before there were patterns. So I drew that from a butterfly and then went and bought all the stuff and did that. And that's what I did as a teenager. And I still have it. I have the date on it, 1976.
It's been
I did it in the summer of
along your journey.
76.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
good stuff.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The things that were coming. It's like being able to move into this space. It was really needed. Everyone that walks in here says it feels so different and so much better than where I was.
Remember we talked about that, right? When you were going through it, the resistance, the anxiety, the stress with the whole change. And we talked about, look, you're going to look back at it. I thought it might take more time. I thought it would be maybe a year or so. We'd look back at it, but now what is it? Like a couple of months. And you're already talking about how you're getting positive feedback and comments. So yeah, it was a change for the better. It was a stepping stone to the ultimate goal, which is the center that we're going to be opening. It's going to be amazing. I'm already starting to shift my thinking around from like, oh, I want to do this. Maybe it'll happen to like, this is going to happen. Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, let's
it
leave
has
it
been
at
magical.
Magical. We're going to leave it at that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And let us know in the comments, what was your biggest takeaway? What would be one thing that you're going to implement in your life now to make your home and your life a more warm, welcoming environment for success? So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you next time on the next episode of the Hemp Del Sol podcast. Everyone take care. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Hemp Del Sol podcast. Explore our wide range of organic products at hempdelsol.com. That's HEMPDELSOUL.com, or contact 954-854-1039.